Welcome, everybody. Thanks so much for attending. We're going to try and get a lot done in a 1 hour period, so I appreciate you all being here. Feel free to pop in with questions at any time. If you don't want to just bust in, you can put a message in the chat and Matt will make sure that we address it. So getting started, I just wanted to go over what our goal is. This was, as you all know, the most challenging year in scouting history that we just went through. The fact that you're still here, all of you, I appreciate that. I know a lot of our packs got sort of decimated due to all of the circumstances, so we need to really jump in and build back up. I think one thing that we've all learned over the last year is that building community is really important, and we missed out on that by only having Zoom meetings and things. The big priority and the reason that this came about is we were talking about that we don't want packs to wait until the fall to get together. If you wait until the fall to get together, you won't have much of a pack left at all. We need to get families together, get kids outside. It does not have to be something difficult. Really, really simple things. Meeting in a park, going on a bike ride, doing a barbecue, any of those things would be good. And also we need to sort of change the old state of mind, which was that once a year you did a big recruiting event with back to school. And that was the only time that you really concentrated on getting new members in your pack. And now I think we all know that we need to recruit year round. We need to treat every activity that we do as a recruiting opportunity and encourage kids to bring their friends. And so we're going to go over some ways to try and do that. Does anybody have any questions or comments before we get started? Nope, everybody's good. Awesome. Okay, so first thing we want to do is come up with a pack calendar for the year. I sent out an attachment of a sample pack calendar that you can just modify. Do we have that one, Rob, that we can flip up? Awesome. Okay, so all you need to do here is change the logo, which we'll talk about in a little bit, insert your information, and then these are the activities that the council has already scheduled. So there's an outdoor adventure day. It's in Eugene. Technically it's Junction City Ponds, but it's Eugene. And so that's really good for people from the coast to come over, or from Eugene or Springfield or any of the surrounding areas. I know last time we did this, we had, excuse me, a few people come down.
Zoom in, Rob, a little bit.
You want to what? Zoom in it?
Zoom in a little bit. Lower.
Very challenging to do because I'm in Word.
Okay.
Yeah, lower right hand, the plus button next to the 100%.
Oh, right there. Well, look at that.
Thanks.
So what you can do with this is, for instance, first activity here was Scouts in the Park. We started doing this about 3 years ago, made a huge difference in participation and getting the families to interact with each other. I think that's really, really important. And we missed out on that this last year. So basically we did it on the same day that our unit usually meets. So if you normally meet on Wednesdays at 6 p.m., maybe you can do it on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. or Mondays at 7 or whatever. And we actually would start like in May and go right through the whole summer, pick a different park each time. You can have a really simple activity, have a kickball game, have a water balloon toss, have some popsicles. It doesn't really take much. The kids just want to be outside and see each other. And the thing that's nice is when it's not a high stress event, the kids can play, a couple of the adults can keep the kids somewhat entertained, and the rest of the families can bring picnic blankets, and the younger siblings can hang out. Everybody can get to know each other. And what happens when you do this, people can invite their friends and their neighbors, and it gives the leaders, I'm assuming all of you leaders need more help with your packs. Is there anybody who doesn't need more help with their packs? No? Okay. So if you need to recruit adults to help, if you've met and done activities throughout the summer, then when you get to August, it's much easier to ask those parents that you now have a relationship with if they could take over and be your Tiger Cub den leader, or if they could help as the new member coordinator, or do your social media or something like that. And you're not going to be able to ask them to help if you don't know them. So that's really, really essential. So what you can do on this calendar is add whatever activity you want to pop in there for June. If there's an activity in your town that already takes place, then just piggyback on that. In Eugene, they do concerts in the park every month. And so we would just, one of the dates that they do a concert in the park, we would put that on our schedule. That way there was already live music going to be there. We brought games for the kids. We set up a table. We had our flyers there. We had all the kids in their pack t-shirts and the leaders in uniform. Really good way to recruit new families. And there's a fun activity already going on that you just are sort of piggybacking onto. So take a look and see what's going on in your community. So for June, do one other activity. There's an outdoor adventure day. There may be some more outdoor adventure days coming. We're hoping to do one in Springfield and one in Roseburg. We'd love to do one at the coast. So if anybody has ideas about a good location to do that. The outdoor adventure day is really simple. We get the local range masters that we have that usually do it at day camp and things to do archery. Oregon Fish and Wildlife has volunteers that will come out and do fishing. They supply all the fishing equipment. They supply the volunteers. We just have them set up. We have a couple of local troops that set up an obstacle course. We have our people who do day camp help and set up some of the crafts that they normally, it's leftovers from day camp basically. And we do a couple of games, really simple, fun stuff. We did one of these in April, I think, had a great turnout. Invited the public, invited all the local scouts. So we'll be doing more things like that. So that's a really easy thing for PAX to jump into. When we get to July, really important is Cubs Summer Camp. We got to get these kids out camping. So that's our council camp. It's July 7 through 10. So you for sure want to have that on your calendar. Then there's 4 different day camps. So I would say leave on here 1 or 2 that are the closest to you, because I know kids sometimes they might live in Newport, but their grandparents live in Eugene and they want to go stay with their grandparents a week and go to day camp in Eugene. So pick a couple of the day camps that are the most logical for your area and leave them on here. You can delete the other ones. Then for August, August would be great for a family hike, a fishing day, a bicycle day, anything that's outside having fun. Those are really easy things to do. Parents just show up. You can do a hot dog barbecue. And then for somewhere middle to end of August, really important before we get to back to school, to do some sort of a summer celebration. And all that takes is maybe some popsicles and some other games or activities. Make sure the kids each invite other families to join them, invite friends. This would be something you'd want to promote via social media, on Facebook, on Nextdoor. Get as many people as possible to come to your summer celebration. So that's sort of a kickoff for the Scout year. So that would be a really fun thing to do. Does anybody have any questions about these? I asked last night on the Cub Scout Facebook group, Cub Scout volunteers, about summer plans. And people posted what they're doing for their summer activities. And Rob has some samples, and there's a lot of creativity and things going on. Can we show people what some other units are doing? I thought these were great. Some do a lot of activities. Here's a June, July, August. They're in Long Beach, so they do beach bonfires, which would be awesome. Here's a pack doing some fun stuff, rain gutter regatta, drive-in, camping, stargazing, car wash. This one is fun, and they are gearing it towards the Summertime Pack Award, which is great if you meet and have an activity during June, July, and August. I think you also need to attend a council camp. Then you can qualify for a Summertime Pack Award. So that was a really fun one. This one right here, dessert in the park, rain gutter regatta, and fishing. And then here's another one. They're doing a lot of really fun stuff, bike safety, hiking. They're on a different schedule than us. They do their blue and gold in August. And then this is talking about how to earn the Summertime Pack Award. And here's bicycle rodeo, day camp, movie nights, hiking, and more. So just lots of great ideas on getting people outside, active, and having fun. So I thought those were really nice. Anybody have questions about Pack Calendar? Anything special that your units do that are fun that the kids enjoy? Anybody? Nope. What do you got, Matt?
Our pack last year adopted a trail out at a county park, and so we it was a pretty nice open space to meet during COVID, and we do trail maintenance, little conservation project on the nature trail at that park, Armitage, and it's worked out pretty well. It's a really easy. We talk for conservation and hand tool safety for 10 minutes. We do 45 minutes of trail maintenance and family groups, so everyone can take off their mask if they want, and then popsicles.
Yeah, exactly. And the kids love it.
And it's every time it's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. So lots of really fun ideas like that. Just get people together. That's terrific.
And the county had a volunteer coordinator, and she was doing backflips when I called her up and said, "Hey, I got a group. What do you need?" Yes.
That's terrific. That's a great idea. Kelly, did you have something that your unit does?
Well, we're a new unit, but I just recently went to a park and looked at a few, I noticed that they had a few geocaches there. So I went there to make sure that they were easy and accessible for the cubs. And I plan on having an outing maybe in August at that park and teach some basic compass stuff, and then go and look for some of the geocaches.
That's awesome. Yeah, the kids will love it. That's a great idea. Anybody else have great ideas? Randy, what do you got?
I don't have a great idea, but we just went low tech. Took my family out to the river and called the pack families, and they came along with. So we had a pack outing to the local river. Everybody brought their own sandwiches and hot dogs, that kind of stuff. Very, very simple. So
yeah,
it doesn't have to be a big deal. Doesn't have to be sponsored by anybody.
No.
And,
well, and the advantage of having it be, I mean, you show up with a soccer ball or a volleyball or something, and the kids are playing, and that gives the adults a chance to connect, which is really important. Don't underestimate the fact that if the parents become friends with each other, that's going to be your strength. That's going to get you through the next few years. So that's really important. So as you do all of these things, one of the things that's important is to be recruiting at every event. Every time you go somewhere, make sure you have flyers so that if a grandparent or a parent comes by and sees all these kids in the park or bicycling or cleaning up, and they say, "Oh, who is this? What are you doing? That you can hand them your flyer with all your information. And Rob has a great flyer that he's created for our council that we can use for all sorts of things. Like I said, this isn't just a back to school sort of event. So this flyer right here has a QR code. It has the phone number at the Scout office. It works for all different age groups. And what you can do is there's a form that's attached to the email I sent you today that you go into that form and you tell them how many copies of this that you want. And then in this bottom white space, they will fill it in with your PAC information, membership flyer request, the MFR. You fill this in, you tell them how many of the emails, how many of the flyers you want, what contact information you want on there, when you need it. You fill this in online, it goes to your district executive. They'll see if they can help you with anything. What you can do is you can just do the front if you want for a basic year-round one, or you can do the front with your contact information. Another suggestion, if you have a troop that you're associated with, you can put the PAC information down below and have it say kindergarten through 5th grade, you know, PAC 1, 2, 3. And then also down below have 5th grade through 17 or 5th grade through senior. I'm not sure which way would be the best to word it. And have the troop information on there also. That way the troop can use this as a promotional piece and the PAC can use this as a promotional piece. And you can also get this in a poster size. Rob, do we know what size the poster size is?
It is 11 by 17, I believe.
Yes. So the poster size is really nice to post at churches, at schools, at your chartered organization, at the grocery store. It's a really nice piece to put up around town, and this would be really useful if you include a PAC and a troop, or just the PAC, but that's a really good piece to put out.
Yeah,
Then
what
the
we're
other
showing
thing-
right here, Danita, this actually is the poster layout.
Okay,
We'll also have an 8.5 by 11 flyer, same basic layout.
yes. So you can use this in the big size for posters and then the 8.5 by 11 normal size for your flyers. And it has,
I'm sorry, would that have room on it to put 2 troops on it? A girl troop and a boy troop?
oh, totally. That would be awesome.
So on the front, John, we've got about 2 inches by 6 or 6 inches by 2 inches width by height. And then on the flyer, you've got the whole back of the flyer
Yes.
that we can also put information on. On the poster, there's actually, let me see here, at least 10 inches by 2.5, 3 inches that we can slide some text into.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
really
awesome.
nice. So the office will print you up those. Then what you can do if you want to on the back of that piece, on the back would be just black and white. But on the back of that piece, you could do a couple different things. You could do your summer of fun schedule on the back. So when you're distributing it around town, they've got everything they need on there. When we get to August and you make your calendar for the whole school year, you could put that on the back and you could use that as your promotion. If your school district allows you to send flyers home, which some do and some don't, you could get those printed to send home with the schools. You could use them at the back to school nights. You can post them all over. I know one of our schools here in Eugene don't let us send flyers home, but they will let us put up flyers around the school. And so that color poster is a great thing to post around the school. So depending on what you're allowed to do, that's a really great asset that we have. And Rob developed that one just for Oregon Trail Council. So make sure you take advantage of that. You could also use that and post it on your Facebook page, post it on the Nextdoor app. A lot of things that you could do with that. So that's a really important thing to do. Now, does anybody have any other ideas for a big celebration type event to get to use for recruiting? Anything that you've seen other PACs do or that you want to jump into? Do they have any events in your community? Like, is there a 4th of July parade or a street festival? Or I think Corvallis has a big farmer's market that they use. Let's see, Laura's on here. Laura? Are you there?
I am here, but I'm driving home from a Cub Scout event. Sorry.
Well, that makes sense. Laura, seems to me in Corvallis, they sometimes do an event during a farmer's market or something. Have you been to that?
Yes. To that a few years ago. Some of the PACs led various activities on the lawn there right by the farmer's market. And I think it was really well attended.
That's great. Oh, Cammie, you probably know about that too, right, Cammie?
Yeah, it's usually been in May. I think it's just been put on hiatus due to COVID, but hopefully maybe next spring we can bring it back.
Yes, any sort of event. I mean, really anything going on in your community that you can volunteer to help out with and get some scouts there in uniform and hand out your flyers is a great thing to do. People are looking
we did
for
the Monmouth to Dallas 4th of July parade a couple of years ago too, but it's been canceled for this summer. So we were going to have our scouts participate again, but that won't be
Kelly,
available
do you
this
have
year.
some? Yeah, that would be great.
Coos Bay has the Family Fun Festival parade that we plan on walking in September.
Yeah, that's great. Any of those things, if you can set up a booth and do some fun little games. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything major. You can set up a little obstacle course that the kids jump around. You can have hula hoops. We did rock painting at one of the parks. People went crazy to paint rocks. So just get your kids out there in the community. That's really, really important. Now I put on the email some useful links, and so hopefully some of these can help you. One of them was something that was in Scouting Magazine that was Cub Scout summer activities, some of the fun things that we were talking about. For any sort of marketing, the BSA has a whole marketing and membership hub. I don't know if any of you have seen this. They have things that are ready to go, all sorts of photos, flyers, postcards, logos, really helpful information that you can use. So that link is really important. One of the things that we're trying to do is to get a new member coordinator for each PAC. I know that's really hard when some of you are doing all the work yourself, but that would be a great thing after you get these parents together over the summer to ask a parent to be the new member coordinator. And they would be the one.
What do you typically look for, like as a unit leader, when you were committee chair? What do you usually look for as when you zero in on like skill set is going to make them a great new member coordinator?
Are they breathing and did they show up?
Yeah.
That's really important.
Can they make fog on a mirror?
Yes, can they do that? Needs to be somebody with a somewhat outgoing personality because they need to go up to the people who wander up to your events and say, hey, can I tell you about our PAC? And it would also hopefully be somebody that will help follow up. We get leads from when people go to the Be a Scout website. Leads get sent to the unit, and we need to follow up on those and make sure that people get information. The new member coordinator could help get information out into the community and use social media and promote all the things that you're doing. I know that a lot of groups just did over Memorial Day, put flags out on cemeteries and things like that. Really great community service with awesome photos. So if you've got photos of your Cubs putting flags out, those pictures need to be showing up all over the place. So people see that your unit is active, they're helping the community and to get people involved. So a new member coordinator is hopefully helping with all those things so that the Cub Master and the committee chair don't have to do every possible task within the PAC. but it's not an intimidating position, I don't think, for most people. So don't be afraid to ask somebody, maybe a couple to do it, or maybe two parents that are friends could help. So all of the training and information for new member coordinator is on that link right there. Has anybody had a new member coordinator? Ever heard of it before? No. So that's a really important position that helps units move forward. So hopefully we can get some people involved in that. Throughout tonight, I've been talking about social media. I know people have a love-hate relationship with it, but to get more families involved, we need to reach mostly the mothers. The fathers are awesome too, but usually the mothers sort of gravitate towards what activities the family is going to participate in, and the moms are on Facebook. That's just where they are. So Facebook is very important, and the Nextdoor app. Has anybody used Nextdoor app? I avoided it for a long time because I didn't want to deal with it, but it's a different market, and it's a good place to list, like when you have your flyer of your activities, that's a great place to go on the Nextdoor app and list the flyer as an event or just an activity, and you can reach specific neighborhoods, and that's really important to do, and reach out to people. If you are not on the Oregon Trail Council Facebook page, I would encourage everybody to join that. That's a lot of good information comes through on there. And then there's also district pages for each of the districts that you happen to be in. And there's a lot of information on there that you can just take directly and share it onto your own Facebook page that you have for your unit. Oh, Rob has things available for you to borrow if you're going to do an event in your community. And these are available. This is the pop-up tent, which looks great. The pop-up canopy. If you want to use this, or in the background, you can see in that other room, there's a blue display board that comes in a big fancy case, and it is Velcro, and you can move around all the stuff on it. That's the display board right there. So that's available. The tiger costume. Does the tiger have a name? I can't remember.
TC, Tiger Cub.
Tiger Cub. There he is.
We've also got a bunch of these yard signs that are available.
And there's the ones that they all link to the main Scout office.
Mm-hmm.
The Tiger Cub costume is really fun. It's hot. It's kind of sweaty on occasion, but it gets a lot of attention. It would be really great to use at a parade when your kids are marching in a parade. Here's a selection of some of the promotional materials and things that are available. You can set up this board. All of that stuff is on Velcro. So you can focus on just Cub Scouting if you want. You can focus on camping. That's a really great display to have up at any event that you're doing. So just call the Scout office and tell them you want to reserve the tiger, you want to reserve the canopy, you want to reserve the stand-ups, any of those things, and get those signs out in your community. Those signs are great to take if you're going to the park. Take the sign and put a couple of them to not only let your families know where to find you, but to let the rest of the community know that you're there. I know some packs have ordered, like from Vistaprint, you can get them pretty cheap, the big vinyl banners. And to take those vinyl banners everywhere you go. I want to get those feather, you know, the tall feather signs that blow in the wind. Those would be great to have that says pack 1, 2, 3, Roseburg or whatever, to take whenever you're doing things. So you just have to think of the PR and that the people in your community need to see you out and about. So any of those things that you can do, that big pop-up canopy is great and bright and gets lots of attention. So sign up ahead of time and borrow those items like you can. On the useful links, it has here, how do I create a Facebook group? Okay, who feels really confident about their use of Facebook and it's working great for their pack? Awesome, Kelly. Anybody else?
I
Matt?
do okay with it.
Good, good. Do you have one page or group, or do you have two?
I have a page for internal communication. I mean, a group for internal communication and a page for outside advertising.
Perfect, because we have two markets we're trying to reach. So that's really important. And how you decide to do it is up to you. But you have two audiences. So one is within your pack. You want to build community. I know I've been harping on that, but that's essential. You don't build community and connections, you don't have a pack. So having a closed group that's just for members of your pack where you can post your photos. You can say we're meeting at this park at this time. You can say there's a sale at Costco on backpacks that the kids might like. Any sort of community things that you can do, the more you use that page as an important reference for your families. If the local swimming pool is having a special on swimming passes, or there's a special movie night going on, anything in your community that would interest your families and help them be a better family and help their community, you need to have somebody in your pack that is adding that information and making that group valuable to your families. Because if they see it as a resource, they will reach out to it and it will become more important to them. The other audience is the general public. I know recently we had a couple of families that were moving to Oregon from California. They just went on Facebook and looked for local packs, found our public page, saw all the pictures of the things that we've been doing and the activities and the interactions, and that's how they chose to come to our pack. So don't underestimate the value of that. Anytime your kids are out doing a community service, I always make a point to run around behind what they're doing and get pictures from the back so I don't have faces in it, so I don't have to worry about it. Lately, all the pictures have masks on, so one tiny silver lining of COVID is we have pictures where you can't tell who the kid is because they're wearing masks, and you can post them on your public page and not have any issues. So the public page is really important. That's where you can list your events. If you're having a fundraiser, if you're having a Scouts in the Park event or something, you can load it on there. And then you can use from your public page to go to join all of the community groups in your area. If there's neighborhood watch groups, if there's school community groups, if there's any other sort of community groups, even there's moms groups. There's a lot of, in Eugene, there's Eugene Buy, Sell, and Trade, and Eugene Classified Ads. Some of those groups have 40,000 people that are members. And so when you have an event going on or a fundraiser, if your kids are selling Christmas wreaths or whatever, those having access to those groups are really important, and it's free and it's easy. And the more they see you posting information that your pack is doing activities out in the community, the more likely you're going to get people to join. So that's really important. I put on here the how to create a Facebook group. It's really easy, step by step. People get overwhelmed by it, but that shouldn't stop you from doing this. And there's probably somebody in your pack that's good at this. So if that's not you, reach out to somebody else and say, hey, can you help us get this set up? Or if you have older scouts, somebody that's in high school or something can maybe help you. When you do that, you need some good photos for your pack and a logo. So one of the things that we're working on, I have some Scout volunteers doing a pack logo. Do any of you already have a pack logo? Matt has a pack logo. Kelly has one. So
I have a collage of pictures that I've taken, and then like the shoulder with the 9 on it.
yeah, that's awesome.
Well, that sounds excellent.
Yeah, John, do you guys have one?
No, Pack 199 does not. But to
Well, you're
piggyback on
going
what you
to.
say- Yeah, I'm gonna look into play with that.
I've got
I love
somebody
making stuff.
working on it. I just sent her your pack number and your town, and if it's a family pack or a boy pack. And so probably tomorrow or the next day, you'll be getting an email with at least one sample logo, maybe a couple.
Oh, right on.
Yes, so you'll get those. So when you get those, that's what you pop right up there on your Facebook page. That's what you use if you're posting stuff on Nextdoor. When you
Mhm.
order your flyers, you put that on your flyers. It's like a business. I mean, that's your identity, and you just
Yeah.
want
The
to,
public face of the pack.
yes,
But to
entire.
piggyback on what you were saying about the use of a page,
Uh-huh.
as probably 5 of the pack's members we've gotten in the last 6 months by posting pictures from events,
Mm-hmm.
like a hike they did up the North Umpqua somewhere. I don't know where it was. I wasn't able to go. I had something else going on,
Mm-hmm.
but I staggered out pictures of that,
Yeah.
showing how much fun you can see how much fun they were having on that hike. And we probably picked up 5 members from that and events
That's
like that.
amazing. I mean, people, like I said, I know there's still people who hate Facebook. They don't want anything to do with it. You don't have a choice. I mean, really, if you want to be successful right now, you've got to be on there. That's where people are looking.
It's the biggest game in town right now.
It really is. And it's free. I mean, it's crazy that it's free and that you can do an event and reach thousands and thousands of people, literally. So if you do, like I said, if you don't already belong to those groups, join every group that you can find, and you just share that all over to those groups, and they will share it to their friends, and it just goes crazy from there. So that's really important. Rob has a link he can show on how to update your beascout.org pin. Do you guys know how to do that? Okay, he's going to show us really quick. This is what happens when anybody types in Google or something and wants to be in Scouts. This is where they are directed.
Anita?
Yeah.
Kelly has a question.
Yeah, Kelly.
So I attempted to adjust my PAX via Scout pin, but it says that it's controlled by the council.
And mine says it's controlled by the key 3,
Yes.
which
Well, I think
updated in the last year.
maybe mine needs to be updated from the council so that the key 3 could adjust it.
I bet it does. And Kelly is with Pack 9 in Coos Bay.
Yep. Okay, so yes, we can switch those over. Kelly, yours is still set for council because the pack is new.
Yeah.
And I have too many things that I'm trying to think about to remember that. So I'm glad that you said that.
No, I totally figured it was because we were new, and I just kind of left it as it was, as it is, because I am getting the lead emails from Be a Scout still.
Good, good. So from my.scouting.org, you want to log in. Now, if you are a Key 3 member, you can do this. There's also ways to set this up from the Key 3 to make other people able to do this. It's called a functional position or assignment. But so from menu, I'm going to use Crew 2141 because I'm actually registered there. So I can show you from a unit perspective, not what I can do from the council. So you want to go into your unit, into Organization Manager. This brings up the information about your unit, and you want to go to Unit Pin. And in here is where you can make all of the changes to your pin. Right? Do you want it to be on Be a Scout? Do you want to let people apply online? You can update contact information. You can put in your Facebook page or whatever website you want to use. You can put in your personal, your customized information, and it shows you the kind of the pin preview. Now, Be a Scout will typically grab the closest units within about I think it's a 25-mile radius. So pretty good spread, and you want to have this updated. You can also come in here and show which things you want to show. So if you want your unit listed up there, but you don't want to show where you meet, you can shut that off. Now, there's also a thing in here for unit meeting address. The default on this is going to be the address of your chartering organization. Most of our units are not meeting at their chartering organization. They're meeting someplace else. So you want to go in and change this to where you're actually meeting, and then it'll show up on the map. Make sure you save the changes, and within about 24 hours, your PIN will be updated. Ta-ta. Questions, comments, queries about that one?
That's really important, because if that information hasn't been updated and somebody's moved, one of your key three is moved out of town and is no longer participating, leads are getting sent to that person and are getting lost. So that's really important that PIN information is updated, and that it's also current, especially if you, for instance, are a pack that has girls and boys. You need to have that on there, because when people go in and do a search, they can search for either girl pack, boy pack, or family pack. So you want to make sure that is accurate if that information is changed. So that's really important. We don't want to lose the leads that we have coming in. So that's really important. Does anybody else have any other questions, things that have worked really good for you? John, how's your pack doing?
They're meeting regular, they're doing activities.
Awesome.
Because of COVID, they did their Pinewood Derby, and then basically the backyard of the troop, backyard of the church, one of the troops meets at.
Uh-huh.
And they got picked up a couple interests that way, because the same place that the Roseburg Farmers Market's at.
Oh, that's great.
So it was definitely, that's why one of the reasons they planned it to have it there.
I've seen units set up a Pinewood Derby track without the timers and things, just the track, and do like the Lego Pinewood Derbies. Kids love that. You can order the wheels and the base plate for the Lego cars, and then the kids just use their Legos to connect them all. And then kids can come up and build a car and race it right there. They tend to disintegrate once they hit the finish line, which the kids think is very exciting when Legos go flying. But that's a very Scouty activity that people associate with Scouts, and that gets kids involved. And the parents have the nostalgia of doing Pinewood Derby when they were kids. And so that's a great activity to do for the community. Yeah, Rob.
So building on that idea, one of the things I love about the Lego Pinewood Derby is you set that up, that there's no barrier to entry. People come in, they build their car, they have fun racing it. It's a great event. And then you show them an actual Pinewood Derby kit and a couple of finished cars. And you say, oh, and if you join Cub Scouts, this is the next step. You can do the same thing with Rain Gutter Regatta. I go and I buy the pipe insulation, or pool noodles or something like that, something super cheap. Chop it down into a bunch of weird pieces, get some toothpicks, some stir straws, some paper, and you do a recycle Rain Gutter Regatta, and you say, you build your boat, and then you show them the kit, and you say, oh, and then we do this when you get into Cubs. So you kind of show that next step. You're giving them a great hands-on thing that they can do now, but you're showing them that next step into the program that really gets them excited. Kelly, I have updated your PIN, so by tomorrow morning, you should be able to go in and update that.
That's awesome.
If anybody else does not have PIN access, or you're not sure, check with your key threes, have them look. Give me a shout here at the office. We can go in and help you update it. I also want to make sure that you guys have the access to do that.
Yeah, because there's a lot of times the new interested Scouts, that information should be going right to the emails of the key three. And then they need to, it has all of the contact information. It has the kids' ages, the kids' names, and you can just contact them and invite them to your next event. Don't wait. You don't want to talk to a kid that's interested now and say, oh, we'll see you in September. you want to say next week we're going on a bike ride, come with us. So that's really important to get that across. And
Has everybody seen beascout.org? Have you all gone to look at it and see how it works and all of that?
walks you right through. Does anybody have questions about day camps and summer camps? Are all of your units going to day camp or summer camp? Hopefully. Awesome. There's 4 different ones. So there should be one close to everybody. It's really important. If you look at the statistics, the kids that go to summer camps have a much higher likelihood of staying in scouting. We missed out on that last year. We do not want kids to go 2 years without attending a summer camp. We've got to get them there. And in that regards, we need to make sure everybody knows that we are very fortunate in that our council has scholarships available. We have 2 different programs for scholarships. One program is the Dale Fund scholarships, which will pay for registration fees if you have scouts that need help with registration and can't otherwise be in scouts, or if you have a family with 4 kids and they're like, I can pay for 2 of them, I can't pay for 4 of them. If you know anybody that's a foster family, or if you have grandparents raising grandkids, people who've lost their jobs, the Dale Fund is available to cover registration fees. And that's really important. We do not want kids missing out on that, missing out on the chance to be a scout because of that. We have money set aside that can only be used for programs like this. So the one program is the Dale Fund. This is what talks about it. There's 3 different applications. One application is for the whole unit. So if you have a brand new pack and you need some funds to help buy your pack flags, or you want to get some supplies to go camping or some activity supplies, you can, as a pack leader, apply for funds from this account. The other thing is for a scout assistance. So if you've got a new scout, maybe they need everything. They need a scout book and they need a uniform because they have no way to pay for a uniform. Then you fill this out and you send this in. Then you need to have one of the unit leaders needs to attach a letter or fill it in and send that in. Then the other program is camperships. So the council has money for the in-council camps, which would be day camps and overnight camp. And same thing, you fill that in and you request help. Generally, the camperships will pay up to half of it. But if you put on there, this family has 3 foster kids and need help, we will come up with the money to pay for the whole thing. So, and there's also really strict deadlines on all of our camps. Feel free to apply after the deadlines. There's no way that families that are in crisis know 4 months ahead of time that they're going to need to go to camp. So if you have kids that need to go to camp and the family just says that they can't do that, please direct them to this. Last year, we didn't have kids go to camp. So we have funds that can only be used to send kids to camp. And most councils don't have that available. So make sure you tell families it's confidential. We can get their kids to camp because sometimes those are the kids who need it more than anybody. So that's really, really important. If you wanted to, on any of the paperwork that you send out about your pack, you can put something right on there. Financial assistance is available and confidential. And you know your communities, and there's some communities have been hit really hard. And we want to get those kids in scouting and help them however we can. So make sure they know that. That's really important. And the link is on here in the chat. And it's also on the website for the council. So. Did you have a question, Cami? Nope. Excellent. Anybody else have questions? Rob does.
What do you guys need? We've covered a whole lot of stuff. We talked about a lot of resources, shown off a bunch of stuff. what do you guys need in the units to help reach out, to help grow your packs? Do you need program help? What can we do to help you guys?
You've got everything?
Bothering us with
Volunteers.
webinars.
What do you need, Susan?
Volunteers.
Yes. Yes.
Denise
In
and I were actually
theory-
talking about that today.
I think the more you get those parents together, I see at the troop level and I see at the pack level that we are really suffering by not having those parents at events the last year. You know, we were worried about the kids and getting the kids awards and getting them through the program, but we really didn't. And that's because we were all just doing the best we could. We missed out on the parents connecting with each other. That just hasn't happened this year. And we need to do that. That's a vital link to get volunteers to believe in the program and to step up and help so that all of you right here are not the only one doing all the work. And that will come naturally if we get them together. It really will.
Another technique that I'll share with you is don't go to somebody and ask them to take a title. We call it cupcaking. So if you have a new parent, ask them to bring the snack to the next den meeting. Tell them you will bring the Kool-Aid. In whatever the halfway point is, if it's a den meeting and you're meeting every week, if you meet on Friday, call them on Wednesday and say, hey, I was just thinking about the den meeting that's coming up. What flavor of cupcakes were you going to bring? Because I want to make sure that the Kool-Aid goes with it, so it'll be a great pairing. Really what you're saying to them is, you're thinking about this thing that you asked them to do is important. When they bring the cupcakes, you bring the Kool-Aid. Oh, they're the great cupcakes. Thank you so much. Boy, you know, it would be such a help if next time you could bring the cupcakes and the Kool-Aid. Would you be willing to do that? Oh, yeah, because I had such a good time making the cupcakes and everybody loved the cupcakes. It was so wonderful. The next thing you know, you've got somebody that's planning your blue and gold banquet, and then they're your committee chair, and then they're running national programs. We've got to bring them along in steps. You know, it's if you go to somebody who's never run before and you say, I'm this great runner and I do marathons and Ironmans. Why don't you come train with me? Let's go. They're going to be like, I don't think so. But if you say, hey, you know, I love just going for little walks and things. Do you want to go for one? And they go, yeah. Then you go, yeah, now I like to walk a little farther. I do these hikes. I do these runs. I do this thing. Next thing you know, you got a training buddy. You know, and as Danita said, you know, building that community, being in touch with folks, we find that the packs that are focused around schools tend to be larger and stronger packs. Part of that, I believe, is because parents see each other when they're dropping off their kids, and they see each other at PTO, and they see each other at school events. And when they see each other, they go, hey, Cub Scout stuff, right? When they're from all over the place and they never see each other, you don't get that same bond. So if you're working a very spread out geographic area, you've got to create those opportunities that are just time for families to get together and get to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to help. They're going to step up.
If you can do a family camp out, that is crucial. So plan now, if you don't have one scheduled, to do one in August. It doesn't have to be anywhere far. People can bring their little camp trailers. You can do a local area. But the sitting around the campfire and the kids playing together and the siblings playing together is really, really crucial. So see if you can't get something like that scheduled for this summer. Even if it's only a one-night camp or a two-night camp, that's what we're really missing. And that's what will get your volunteers.
Kelly, we could do a Chinook-Waukoma district family cub camp.
Mm-hmm.
Invite all of the packs.
Isn't there a scout camp that's not listed on the registry or whatever close by?
We've got properties in the area that shouldn't be that difficult for folks to get to. And, you know, I mean, if everybody pitches in a little bit, we could put together a really cool kind of overnight event and give individual packs time to bond. but do some stuff, programmatically so that they don't have to think through all of that too.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be really good.
Yep.
So you're thinking Chinook, Waukoma?
Because Kelly's on,
Mhm.
and I am the unit serving executive there.
That would be awesome. Yeah, family camping is really important. So see if you can get that scheduled. I'm telling you, if you get these people together, it will happen. It really will. We just have to see people in person. People are sick of Zooms, and I'm so glad that you all came tonight. If there's anything that you think of that you need, please reach out. I plan to be sending you some emails with PAC logos. Yes, Laura, you have a question.
Oh, yeah. Well, yes, I first wanted to say thank you. I'm just getting started with PAC 2, and so it's really helpful to have this background information about advertising and recruiting. And I'm wondering who, like, if I want to borrow some of the things that you have as far as the canopy or getting the flyers, who would be my point of contact?
So your primary point of contact for anything that you need is going to be Sherry Hayworth.
Okay.
Talk to her, get her ideas. If you need to schedule something like you want the pop-up or something along those lines, give us a call here at the service center and we can tell you, let us know what dates you need it. We can let you know if it's available. And Sherry usually comes down at least once a week. And it's not that big a deal for me to run up to Corvallis. If you can't get down here, we can help get stuff to you as well.
Okay, thanks. We have.
So
Sorry, we have
a district commissioner. So for me, that's Sandy.
District executive, yes.
District executive. Okay.
Yeah, Greenwood District and Cascade is Sandy. Rob is Doug for Chinook and Waukoma, and Sherry is what we now call Shintimony, which was Yaquina and Benton.
And sorry, Laura, I talked over there for a second.
That's okay. We have someone else that supports our PAC locally, and so I'm never sure who I'm supposed to.
You probably
go
have
to
a
for
unit
what
commissioner.
questions. Yes.
Yep.
So should I go to him first, or is Sherry kind of the main point of contact for this kind of?
Either and or both.
Okay.
Sherry works for Oregon Trail Council.
Right.
So she has direct access to me. Everybody's got direct access to me. I'm the council, Rob. Call, I'm usually here. And whatever you guys need, we're happy to help.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, especially the new units. That's a tough thing. You're starting a new unit during a really tough year, but you have the advantage that families know they need this.
I've talked to just a couple of families already, my son's friends, and they're ready to sign up. So I think once we get going, it won't be that hard to get some more families involved.
No, that's why, like I said, you don't have to do, the bar is so low right now. Literally, if you get 2 kids together in a park where they can run in circles around each other, they are happy. I mean, you don't have to have a big production. You just say, we're meeting with the families, and seriously, you'll see people will be so happy. Yeah, so we need to, this is a moment in time we need to grasp onto and take advantage, because people are ready for what we have to offer. So I want to thank you guys so much for coming. You have my contact information on the email that went out. Feel free to email me or call. You'll be getting some logos in the mail. Let me know if you like them, if you hate them. Rob can help you with getting your flyers all set up and promoting things. You guys have got what it takes. Don't be afraid. You can handle this, right? Awesome. Go team. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
Thanks,
for the
Donita.
time.
Thanks, Rob.